You know, when something like, it's like a good vintage t-shirt, like enough time has to go by where it's good again.
Yes.
That's what we have to wait. Hannah is like a fine wine.
Miley, I just want to say congratulations on the brand new song. How did you know that like this was the one that needs to be released? Because it's been what now, over a year since your last solo record.
Well, you know, one thing that I think it comes with the first single is the expectation. You have a lot of expectation because it kind of reflects where the body of work is going to go. You know, people kind of assume this is the sound. This is where she's going. This is defining an era.
Yeah.
I think you have to be very clear. And then everything after that just kind of falls into place. I think that the next single, you know, always, they don't have quite as much pressure. That first one comes with a lot of pressure. And I thought that it was the most reflective of where I am, you know, kind of right now, as it was the one that was the most recently written. I actually really only wrote it about over the last, 2 months. I wrote it about 3 or 4 weeks before I shot the video. And I never really done anything like that because usually I like to finish the body of work, because sometimes then I do feel like you end up looking at a whole piece of art. And when you take, 2 years making a record, there a lot changes in your life and it evolves and the sounds adjust with it. So without having a release date of a record in mind, I was worried about putting out music because I just didn't know I was kind of like, well, then what? Because usually the then what is I get to go on tour and I get to connect. I don't know if we're doing that anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean the lyrics as well. I mean, it's really great. You said that you only wrote you wrote the song recently, and you touch on like loads of things in there. And I wanted to ask you about it because obviously you're talking about how the media are portraying people, and especially at this point in your life. I mean, why did you feel so important to speak out about that?
I've always really tried to keep my fans like connected, and I think there was a time, about a year ago where for the first time in my career, I allowed the kind of media to narrate my life and what was going on. And I felt like it was kind of below me to engage because people don't realize the kind of thread that pulls. Once you start engaging, you really start exposing so much of your personal life, which is usually something that I feel like I'm very transparent. My life is one giant mirror, and I'm okay to let my art be the reflection of what I'm going through right now. Like I'm usually totally the first one to do that. But when it came to that true love, it just felt like at that time, my story was being written and told for me. And I really had no control of that narrative. And right now, I think by this being such a reflective period, I really was able to kind of poetically really write down exactly what the last year felt like for me. And then realize how many people are going through a lot of the same things, even though I kind of wrote it about, almost a fantasy, as it was kind of about going out, feeling good on your own, even though really I was sitting at home like everybody else. It was one of the first songs I've ever, or maybe one of the only songs I've written that's almost has the 50-50 blend of reality and fantasy.
Yeah. I mean, the record is fantastic, as you say, and you touch on so many subjects. I mean, in it, you speak about being single. It's the first time that you've been properly single since, I think it was like 2015. I mean, how have you been? I mean, it looks like you're enjoying life. You're embracing everything around you. How has it been?
That I am, it's interesting because being in a time that we're living in 2020, usually things I've never stopped for this long, and me having this amount of stillness and being alone, again, it's just so reflective. There's really no one else to kind of focus that attention on except go in and it's definitely been a little bit challenging, I think, going through a pandemic in this new way that I'm not used to already. Just so many changes happening at once. But I'm pretty good at adjusting and learning, and I'm trying to be hyper aware of this experience and write everything down and journal, and just trying to learn from this experience. Otherwise, it seems like this year was kind of a waste, but I feel like all of us have learned so much through this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think you speaking about reflection there, and I want to ask about the album. I mean, She Is Miley Cyrus is a big title as well, and I mean, what can you tell us about that? Because I know obviously it's been delayed for some time.
Well, for me, with my performances and my connection with the fans, it drives everything and drives my that like deep desire to do this. And I think there's kind of this balance of my fans need me to continue to put out music. That's why I want to put out a single. And these times, like, music are some of the biggest lights in this dark year. We've had so much great music be dropped.
Yeah.
There's so much like hope and something to look forward to. But I really, really would love to hold on to my record until I can get back on some of those festivals that I had planned on this year and have everybody, connecting again together. Because this record that I've done, they're just about being sweaty and in the crowd. I mean, even Midnight Sky, that's really kind of what it's about.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I would definitely like for us all to be able to be together again. Hannah is like a fine wine.
It's a question that I asked you last time, and I remember that you said to me, you're just finding the right time for it to happen. I know you've still got the Hannah Montana wigs. I know this is a time of nostalgia.
I got actually right there. Hold on.
You got it right there. Oh, my God.
Actually, no.
Oh,
this is a good party trick. Everyone comes over and has to try on the wig.
Oh, mate. So
available. Hannah's in storage.
I mean, are you still waiting for that right point where you're going, now?
When something like, it's like a good vintage t-shirt, like enough time has to go by where it's good again.
Yeah.
There goes to a period where it's just bad because it's old, but then it's so old that it's good again.
Yes.
That's what we have to wait. It's like Hannah is like a fine wine.
Wicked.
We gotta wait.
We gotta wait.
She's ready.
We gotta wait. She's being decanted as we speak. I like it.
Exactly. She's gonna be it. All my dogs know how to open the door.
I mean, Miley, I'm not gonna lie. Like, on our show, I've literally just finished a giant burger. Right. This is the weirdest thing. Right. So we've done this for the show. Like, it's taken an hour to be able to do it. I haven't made it there. I'll give you some of the facts on it. 30,000 calories, the equivalent of 56 burgers, and it was a challenge that was set.
This doesn't sound good.
I failed miserably, but I mean, am I right in thinking you're no longer vegan, right?
I'm no longer vegan. My community of vegans are not super stoked. I, as an animal lover, definitely am not like thinking that is a great thing. I think that we all learn through trial and error and experimentation. I think to say that something is forever, that's what Midnight Sky is about. I totally understand the anger towards the way that animals are treated, and I totally get it. I was vegan for 7 years, but I think that, as I'm not someone too that would quietly change something that was such a big part of my life. So I felt that I was willing to say that. So
for sure. Well, it was. I mean, mate,
but I don't want a 30,000 calorie burger.
Yeah, no, it's never a good idea. One thing as well that I saw, you've got a new dog.
I do. I now have 5 dogs. I have 2 of my dogs are in Nashville. I've got my 2 mini horses in Nashville. I've got 7 horses in Nashville, 2 pigs. I've got 7 fish. I am wanting to get some bunnies. I realize that a lot of people are getting animals during this time, during the pandemic. Everyone that have never had time to have an animal are adopting animals.
Yes.
But I think it's important for people to remember that life will go back to normal and that animals are a huge responsibility. You're talking to Doolittle, and it is a lot. And especially on days like this, it's like, I feel like I have kids running around. And if they don't like that they're not getting time, they'll make sure I know. My dogs know how to open the door.
What?
All my dogs know how to open the door. And so if I'm in here like doing an interview with you, and they don't like that, they want me to go outside and throw their ball to them, they'll let me know. They're going to come in here and they're going to open the door and say, you got to take me out.
Oh, so you weren't joking when you were saying you're a proper Doolittle.
This is their world and I live in it.
This is their house and they own it.
I can't make them as comfortable. So the other day I woke up and my dog was, I don't know how she got out, but she was like at the front door, hitting her head on the front door, knocking at the front door. I had ordered pizza, so I thought that's what it was. And then I go and she's just sitting right there waiting for me to open the door, like I had a guess.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, that sounds like velociraptors from Jurassic Park.
No, they are. And my dog Bean and I, they say that like, the human and looking like the animal, we look alike. We have a lot of the same personality. She's a reflection of me. If I even get nervous, she feels it and she starts like shaking. Like she's totally like so tapped in. All my dogs are very tapped in, but they are, kind of having this adjustment period too, because I'm starting to try to get back into working and kind of get used to this new normal.
Yeah.
And they're not stoked because they had 6 months where I was locked inside with nothing to do but hang out with them.
I know.
So they're having a total reality check and freaking out about it.